Hello, reader. Welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like, why would you agree to be on this podcast? I'm Kelly Lynn Colby, editorial director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. Our guest this week is Ember Holt, writer of spicy urban fantasy and Fox in the Henhouse. Ember loves all things with heat. A glass of wine, a comfy oversized sweater, and a spicy book next to a fireplace is her ideal night. She likes to read about powerful heroines and protective heroes, and write about them too. If she's not your favorite now, she will be after. I mean, heroines. Apparently it's a very difficult word to say.
Don't let the censor get you for that one, you know?
Is that it? Is the censor going to get me because I can't say heroines?
Never mind. Moving on.
Hey, you know, the censor's going to get us a lot tonight, I think.
Oh, the censor has my number on speed dial. Like, they know who I am. They know everything about me.
I love it. Well,
my phone, sorry, just an aside, I do a lot of TikToks, and you can't have any dirty words at all in any of your TikToks. So
apparently you can't say death either, or lots of things.
Yeah. Unalive has become one of the words in my regular use vocabulary now.
So
they got unalive. But yeah, all my phone knows now is U's with umlauts and A's with little apostrophes over them so that I can circumvent the censor on TikTok.
The tricks we learn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Well, we get to have a spicy conversation today, so I'm excited about that. Twitch will not censor us. We're good.
As long as I don't get in the hot tub, then they won't censor us.
That's also true. That's later. Fans only. They have way more viewers than us. It's totally not fair. Anyways, why? With all of these things we're talking about, you have to dance around, all the stuff, we have to be careful what we say. Yet we're still trying to find these fans that really want to read this because there's a lot. So why do you write spicy urban fantasy?
Well, that's a slightly longer story. I'll try to shorten it up as fast as I can. I've been writing for a super long time. Mm-hmm. And in every single thing I've ever written, there's always been some sort of romantic interest or some sort of romantic element going on. But due to the genre I've been writing in, I wasn't really allowed to explore that any further. So I didn't know how much I liked it until my friend threw a Bridgerton book at me and was like, try this, you'll enjoy it. And I'm like, I don't know, bodice ripper, what? Bodice ripper, I don't know about that. And then I read it in 3.5 hours and was like, well, that's the end of my life.
Apparently this is my flavor.
This is a turning point. We're changing sides. Yeah, so after reading, I don't know, probably 50 books in 35 days, just the smut consumption, yeah, it was crazy. And I had these pre-made covers that I bought, so I was like, I gotta nail this.
You so you already had the pre-made covers, and you're like, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering, so with all of that reading so many books, doing all of that awful, horrible research you had to do.
Research.
Oh, it was awful.
It was painful.
So I know you live with a significant other, right? Was he happy about it?
Bless you. I think probably.
I'm not asking for pictures. I just want to know if he was happy about it.
Yeah, I think he could definitely tell that I was reading a lot of smut.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you, man. So for all of you wondering, what's the point? There's lots of points, and that's definitely one of them. Well, speaking of research, you did research, you read a ton of books, right? But do you make sure that your browser's on private before you do any internet searches, or do you just go for it?
I forget. Yeah, no, I also had to look up name. I'm strong girl name that means storm today, and now they're just are you pregnant? I'm like, fuck. And then I'm looking up scary billionaire werewolf shifter romance, and it's do you want Mpreg too? I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. No.
It could be bad.
Pretend the FBI aren't listening. So one thing I did look up. I was like, can you actually kill yourself by biting off your own tongue? Like, is this a viable self-unaliving route? And I forgot to put it on private browsing. And of course, it was like, dial 998 if you are in trouble. And I'm like, I'm not in trouble. I'm just doing research. I'm okay.
My characters are in big trouble, but I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know it did that. That's kind of cool.
The internet likes to check in on you and make sure you're okay.
Or if you need to buy things. Just in case. You never know.
True. Yeah.
I'm not in trouble. I'm a writer. That's right, Dave. That's exactly right. I think Avatar had a question. Why are you on this podcast?
Oh.
Why are you on this podcast?
Because I love Kelly. I love talking to Kelly. We're friends. I like just hanging out, talking to my friends. And also, I need a little more exposure.
Ooh, that is later tonight, gentlemen. Stand by. Yeah, we're not that fun. Just read the book. You get everything you want in there. Trust me. There you go. See, yeah, there you go. This is what you get. I mean, that's very, very risque for for Bridgerton times. So.
Oh, true. Yeah. Just an ankle, man. Those guys were like. It
was horrible. I mean, the whole boobs could be sticking out, but heaven forbid anything else.
Right.
Whatever. Maybe they had a healthier version of boobs than we do now. Maybe they really did think of them as just feeding for children, so those can be shown. I'm sure that's true. No, I'm sure it is. No, you don't think so? Oh, well, I tried. Okay, I tried. So question 2 from Avatar is, can you tell these people you're not being held against your will?
I swear I'm not being held against my will.
Oh, trust me, she knows the log off button. She is not against her will. So I'm wondering, like, I was reading about your book, right? So the first one, the Chimera Bounty. By the way, thank you for spelling Chimera right. Like, as I look it up and I spell it right when I'm looking up your book, right? Because I looked it up so I could read everything about it.
Sure.
And it I cannot tell you how many books popped up that spelled it just Chimara. I'm like, no. I mean, if you're going to spell it wrong, wouldn't you at least put Mira?
I guess think about the evolution of the word fairy, and now we're just slinging around fae, so whatever.
That's true.
Whatever.
Well, I appreciate it. So, in the back, you said that, you have the strong women and you have the protective heroes. Mm-hmm. And so my question is, because I'm very much attracted to this dynamic, and I don't know why. So I'm wondering, why do you think that we as modern, strong women ourselves, but we still have a thing for kind of these protective heroes in the stories that maybe come to our rescue and have, like, what is it about, do you think, modern women that we still so much kind of want that as well?
Well, I could dive into the psychology of several different dynamics. Here's the non-spicy version of everything. No, I'm not going to give you the non-spicy version. I know it. I've done a lot of research. I know a bunch of the different male-female archetypes, how they work together, and why. But certainly, I think the biggest reason why we still crave having a hero open the door for us, pull out the chair, make sure we don't get unalived by the evil monsters, is that we want to be somebody's number one priority. And that's what most romance novels are all about, is being somebody's number one priority. It's also like villain stories are doing super well right now, because villain stories where they will burn the whole world down to save the princess. And the girls are like, yes, love me like that.
Oh my gosh, you just answered a lot of questions. Because that's exactly right. Because I'm like, why are you attracted to that guy? He just burned down that whole village. What is it? And it's like, yes, but it was for me. I was like,
me.
Oh.
The boy in 7th grade who punched me in the face and ripped my dress open on the schoolyard. That's why he burned down the school for me, to take away my bad memories.
And it totally worked. Now rip open my skirt for me.
Exactly. consensual skirt ripping, okay?
That's right. This is consensual. She asked for it. That's different. That's right. That's right. Well, I'm wondering that because these books that you have, consent, it depends on the book how consent works, right? So I don't know what specific tropes you have in your book, but how do you deal with consent in yours?
Well, all of the romance in my book is consensual. I prefer to write consensual romances. I read some that have dub con and non con, which is like dubious consent, non consent. But go into in a mental state where I'm like, I know this is going to happen, and it's not being glorified. It's being shown in like here's the trauma that's happening to the character, and like why it's making them who they are. To me, non-con is not sexy. It's not sexy. I don't like it. But sometimes it's part of real stories, so
Yeah, well, that's good to know though, because I like that too. So it's good to know. Because like you said, one thing I found out about spicy, so you have to let me know, right, if this is true or not, because I don't write it myself. I dev edited a fair number, some of which I'd like to forget. And some of which I would read again, right? That's how it works, right? That's called dev editing right there. And so like I have found that people's like sexual taste are very specific. So how do you make sure that your book, because it's also fantasy, right? So it's not just like, the casual, it's not Bridgerton, right? Like it's a completely different. So how do you inform your fans, right? How do you inform your fans, even though the cover is pretty darn good about at least telling them what genre it is? How do you inform your fans what's in the book so that they know that this is the flavor they're looking for?
I definitely tried in my blurb. I might need to do another pass on it. I don't know. Kelly, help me. Dev edit my blurb.
That's marketing, not story. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So yeah, blurb is definitely where I try to put that. I might even actually go back. A lot of authors recently have been like just listing their tropes in their blurb, and I'm like, that's pretty good SEO actually, and tells everyone exactly what they want to know. So maybe I'll do it.
At the end of the blurb, at least, because quite frankly, your blurb is awesome. So at least at the end, though, because people are like, oh, that sounds cool, so what am I actually in for, right? And then you see what you're actually in for. It's actually not a bad idea. Because, I mean, right away, the first thing that you talk about is Fey rabies.
Yeah, Frabies. Yep.
Is that how you say it, Frabies?
He's got the Frabies.
Why did you choose rabies to be the thing? Like, what was the choice there? And is it an actual virus in this world, or is it something else? They just call it that.
It's what the MC, the FMC, the female main character, she is. She's not part of this magical world, but the male MC, he is, and he's never been to her world before. So it's kind of like a clashing, like fish out of water, and like girl meets like the veil coming down in her own world at the same time.
So these are separate worlds. It's not like magic already existing on Earth kind of thing.
Oh, it does. It does. Earth is a prison for magical fairies, and they have this essentially dampening field around the Earth that prevents them from casting magic. So.
Oh, I was wondering why because that's the series title, right? And it said Earth, and I'm like, why does it say Earth? I'm so confused. That is very clever. Okay, sorry. Back to Frabies.
So our main character, she's like this spunky, kind of down on her luck journalist girl looking for a good story, and she nicknames the disease Frabies. It's not actually called Fey rabies. It's just it makes a Fey shapeshifter go kind of rabid and lose control of their mind and forget what they're doing.
That sounds dangerous.
It's a little dangerous.
So. Yeah, interesting.
And she's in love with the guy who's got it. Oh no!
Always the good ones. It's always the good ones.
There's always something wrong with them.
Well, there has to be. Otherwise, what do we write about? I mean, that's the bad part. That's why one of the questions I used to always ask was, like what, or often ask is like, what characters of yours would you like to hang out with? But I stopped asking it. Can you tell me why I stopped asking it? What do you think the author would say? Like, hey, you want to go hang out with your characters?
I mean, I wouldn't mind hanging out with my characters. But
see, I should have asked you. Because most of my people are like, no, have you seen their life? It's horrible. Did you see what I did to them? No way. They would hate me. I know. I am not going to go anywhere near them.
Craig and Kevin, sure, yeah, they really mess up their characters' lives for sure. Like, I wouldn't want to hang out with Keen. Like, no thanks. His life sucks. But my characters, well, like the situation they've gotten themselves in by book 3 is not awesome. They themselves are still awesome, and I would like to hang out with them, take them out for pizza or something.
Or candy canes, not chocolate. In some of the books. I haven't actually read your lit RPG. Kevin has. I've only read the Dolly ones. But Zafo loves your lit RPG.
Oh.
Your alter egos.
Right.
We should probably mention those just for the people who don't know. So everyone listening, and you have the spicy, and this is the first one of this series, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you know how many is going to be in it? Do you have an idea?
5. I'm pretty sure, unfortunately.
You're like, I signed up for.
Unfortunately, I was aiming for 3. Book 2 was like, nah, there's going to be 4. And I'm in 3 now. I'm like, oh, there's going to be 5.
Now, fantasy romance, it's very interesting because sometimes you can stick with the same 2 or through the whole series and they have their ups and downs, and usually you throw in a third, right? I don't know. It's just a thing. And then, or you can have different couples in each one. Which way are you going to go?
I'm taking the first route with this one. I'm actually taking the Akatar route, which is guy from book number 1. You think he's your love, turns out he isn't. And new guy comes in book 2. My dev editor, she is all about book 2 boyfriend. She's like, yes, he's the one. So
the third one, there must be a battle. Come on now, this is only fair. The second one doesn't have freebies, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's okay. Freebies free.
Freebies free. He remembered to use condoms before he bit people. Oh no.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how freebies is spread. Well, we'll have to look that up. So if you had to write a nonfiction book about something you're an expert at, what would it be?
Oh, this isn't a very good question to ask.
It's fine. Go ahead. What would it be?
All right. You know what? Fine. It would be blowjob techniques. That's what I'd write it on.
That would be a bestseller. A companion book.
I mean, it would probably only be like 90 pages long. I'm not sure I've got more knowledge in me beyond that.
Well, how much do you need? I think 90 pages is pretty extensive.
There would be, pictures, diagrams.
It would be given out at every single bachelorette party.
Okay, now maybe we should maybe talk about this.
Yeah,
we could make some money.
Yeah, we can make this work. Yeah, I might know a couple publishers. So do you.
Hold on.
New name.
Bad
brand.
Dragon is already taken as a trademark, so we can't go with that for the imprint.
90 pages. Yeah, well, it's a lot because there's going to be like diagrams and.
Yeah. I mean, there are different techniques. Poor Avatar fan doesn't think we can fill 90 pages. I mean, if we also put in what not to do, we could definitely.
Oh man, I could write like 700 pages on what not to do.
Starting with who not to do. Let's start there.
A very good place to start.
That's right. We're going to start there. It's all of our advice. Oh my gosh, what a fun companion book. That actually would be fun. What to do if your boyfriend has freebies?
Probably just dump him. Give him up, man.
Like, can you? I mean, that sounds dangerous to me. But no, that's awesome. I love that. That's the best answer we've ever had. You can never leave now. If you could see anyone live in concert, alive or dead, who would it be?
I think I've answered this one before, haven't I?
It's a new one. I might have asked what your favorite band was. I've asked that one before.
Potentially. I would see Typo Negative live in concert for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is because I remember that. So I think it was when we asked what your favorite band was. That's what it was.
I missed that by just a few years.
Sorry. So my son fell in love with Bowie 2 years after he died. I was like,
oh man.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah.
It's
sometimes you just have to ask the glory of what's left over.
That's right. And he has celebrated, let me tell you. But we do the best we can. The chat is very helpfully giving us more companion books, like what to do if your boyfriend has fleas.
Ew. Gross. Your boyfriend might be a wolf shifter if he has fleas.
Yeah, you might want to check that again. And then just treat the yard. It's fine. The fleas don't actually live in the animal. They live in the bedding. So, wash the sheets, treat the yard. You're good to go. It's really not that hard. Sorry, make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat.
Sure.
Avatar says book 4, they get married. In book 5, they file taxes.
Gross.
That's not very sexy, just for the record. We want spicy.
Did you know? Okay, sorry, but speaking of sexy and taxes, there was a dating sim to help you prepare your taxes, and at one point they asked for your social security number.
Oh.
And some people put it in. Enough people that the government took notice and was like, well, we gotta expunge this. Yeah, people are.
Some people got your tax refund is what happened, just for the record.
Yep.
They don't look that close, man. If all the numbers match, they just send that check or deposit that check in this case. Wow. Speaking of sexy and taxes is a sentence Coro never thought she would hear.
I love Sex and Taxes. Oh my God, that's a great book title. Contemporary romance about, the tax man coming to take away the girl's flower shop, and she's like, can I charm you instead? And then, thus begins the very illegal dance.
No, you have to flip it on its head. The accountant has to be the woman who's very by the book. See? And the guy, he's late on his taxes, and he's used to his good looks getting him, what he wants. But no, I don't think so.
I wish that would work, but the power dynamic is wrong. Just speaking from, I've read so many romances now in my life, I just know, it wouldn't work out. Girls would be like...
Well, it wouldn't work. It couldn't be like, he couldn't be like, I will have sex with you and then you give me my taxes. But he could woo her. There could be wooing involved.
Sure.
Maybe she was tormented at an elementary school and he burns it down for her.
Bring it back around. He's the villain she needs.
That's right. She's like, forget it. She takes her hair out of the bun. I don't know where that trope came where uptight, serious women, they had their hair all in buns. I'm like, the people I know who put their hair all in buns are like dancers and gymnasts. And
and want their hair out of the fucking way.
Yeah. Well, then it's usually just, ponytail.
Sure.
Or messy bun.
Messy bun, that's usually what I go for.
The really tight, neat bun. I mean, I think that's more a male trope because they don't realize how much of a pain in the ass it is to actually do that.
Right.
There's a reason why there's all these people doing the hair at the ballet, right?
Yeah, seriously, it's nuts. Get it up there.
No.
That's what she said.
As often as possible.
That's the first one.
So I'm wondering, when the writing is slow, what do you do to get your mojo back?
I read. I read all the time, but if I'm really, really struggling, I'll probably take a break, go read some smutty thing. I'm usually reading 2 or 3 smutty things at a time, and then come back, try again. I'm also usually watching something kind of smutty. I'm watching Shadow and Bone right now.
Yes, season 2.
It's more YA, and holy cow, I just wish the MMC would die.
Why? I love him.
He's the worst. He has the worst plot armor.
You mean the sweet one?
Yeah, the sweet MMC.
I like him. You want to know why I like him? Because the sweet one never wins. And I don't like that nice guys don't win, because that's not true. Because Zafe was a nice guy, and he won me. Thank you very much. So, nice guys do win.
That's why, I think nice guys win IRL all the time, and that's why it's fun to read bad guys winning, because it's this doesn't happen very often.
Fine.
She doesn't like my opinion. Okay, moving on. So yeah,
I just like the nice guy, and that might be why, right? Because again, talking about reading all the time, that's the nice guy never wins, and it's dumb. I want the nice guy to win sometimes. Now, if the nice guy always won, you would see me saying the opposite thing right now.
So I'd say like from what I've read, if I like go back and catalog how many actual nice guys are out there in the things that I've read and who win, probably like 25% right now in like modern romance. But also, I read a lot of villain romance, so my numbers might be skewed the wrong way. So many of these like contemporary friends to lovers, rivals to lovers, usually they're nice guys. So
that's fair. Yeah, I've seen a lot. Have you done any like booktube? You see,
no
oh my
booktube.
gosh, I'm like addicted to booktube, and there are a ton of people who would freaking love your books, by the way. Like sometimes they open up for reviews. Oh my gosh, it'd be perfect. But they go through a whole bunch of those, right? So they just read a ton of everything actually. But the ones I watch obviously the most are the ones that are reading mostly fantasy and a lot of stuff that's popular on TikTok, right? So they'll go through and like, because you have to have clickbait. Sorry, this is the world we live in. So it'd be clickbait like, I read the 20 top books on TikTok right now, right? That kind of thing.
Right.
So it's really fun to watch them go through. But villain trope, this is not you, even though I'm the one frowning at it. That's because I'm an old lady, okay? The villain trope is huge, right? Like the one after another do they talk about.
Yeah, I mean, and again, villain trope is huge right now because of the fact that he'll burn the whole world down for the girl, and I think a lot of girls are wanting someone to burn the world down for them. Whisk them away to a giant castle where food magically appears and kill all their enemies for them.
Yeah.
Train them how to use swords.
I think Zapo and I would both go for some dude if he would make our food magically appear. We could make this sacrifice.
Yeah, I think most people probably yes, especially with how expensive food is getting. Holy shit. You guys seen the price of avocados recently? It's not good. We got some chat going on.
Yes.
Yes, they do. Bad guys are winning too much in the world. Yeah, unfortunately.
It's true.
But in love, I bet they're losing. So.
Well, that's the big thing, though. And the fantasy, we end. Like, I always have, you always have people, I'll go back to Harry Potter, because that's the one most of us know, where Hermione ends with Ron. And my thought is, that's never gonna work. Are you kidding? Because he has this low self-esteem issue, and she's a freaking genius. She's not gonna put up with his shit feeling bad about himself. And he's never gonna feel good about himself because she's so much better than he is in his eyes. So how is that ever gonna work? So my question is, when do you stop? When do you decide, okay, we're gonna cut it here because we don't want it to get real. This is escapism, right? We do want to escape. So there are things that I read in books that I think are, oh, this is awesome, that I would never want to do in real life, right? So where do you like end it? Where do you decide this is where I want to end because this is the ending I like? And do yours have happy endings? Are you an HEA? Is that where series is going? Because that's definitely an important trope people like to know about.
Yep, I mark it on all. Well, usually I'll like hide it in spoilers too. I'm like, if you want to know what the ending is, but yeah, I'm HFN, which is happily for now, or HEA, which is happily ever after. I don't like tragic books. I also don't like cliffhangers. Like, I read The Queen of All That Dies, and it was like, cliff, and I'm like, why'd you do this? What are you doing? You could have just written one more chapter, half from each of their perspective, to be like, here's the new reality that they both live in, without giving anything away for the next book, even though I knew exactly how it was going to go, and the next book is going exactly that way. But I'm not offended. I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is what I expected. But seriously, like, why do you have to end on cliffhangers like that?
Oh, that'll end me on a writer, man. It makes me mad. I'll be like, nope, not reading anymore. I'm done.
It depends on how much I loved the book, if I'll keep going. If I didn't love it, I'll be like, nah, you out. You out forever.
I'm like, you have broken my trust. Broken my trust.
But some people get a pass.
So they have to be very special people.
How I decide to end it. I'm a kind of a plotter. Like I'm definitely looking ahead all the time as I'm writing. Well, kind of. Book 1 had a different future in mind for the whole series, and then when I realized I was doing everything wrong, I was like, oh no, I have to fix this.
Oh no.
Yeah, so yeah, it turned into now a 5-book series, but I made the primary antagonist so powerful that it just would not have been possible for them to take them down by the end of the 3rd book. So I'm like, and she has this cool side quest to do, and she has this cool side quest to do, so I better make 2 more books.
You have to make this happen properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave wants to know, do you prefer to subvert expectations or satisfy them?
I think every good work of fiction has a little bit of both. I mean, if you present certain tropes in your blurb, or like that's who you're trying to market to, like especially happily ever after as satisfying an expectation, like you should hit that for romance readers, because if they think you're going to give them a happily ever after and you don't, they will flame bomb you like
so mad.
It is over for that book. But yeah, subverting some expectations is a good way. Subverting, or at least kind of flipping some expectations on their head, is a good way to keep interest and like liven up a story where people are like, I know how this is going to go down. And while that might be comfortable and fun, when it doesn't go that quite like the way they expect, it can be great or disastrous. It just depends. It could be both.
Could be either. I don't know. No, and I was just thinking there should be a lot of satisfying in your book. I mean, come on, that's kind of,
I know. I think
extra
that's what
spice.
Trying to do. Do you satisfy them? Of course, I satisfy them. Everyone gets satisfied. Every book.
They get satisfied.
Everyone.
You see that, Dave? We're gonna send him signed copies.
Oh God.
Make him read it out loud on a podcast. It'd be awesome.
No.
Next time he loses a bet, he took 4 lines to write Sigh. Oh, I love it. He claims he didn't mean that. Whatever, Dave. That is the thing, though, I wonder, because I have read books before where, like, they're like, this is spicy, and there's no sex until, like, page 200. And I was like, that's not spicy. This is midway. And then I have other ones where they don't mention it. And it's fine. It's normal. I read a sci-fi one. This is one that really surprised me. Sci-fi. It was just sci-fi. It was sci-fi. It's sci-fi. And then suddenly, again, it was like page 250 out of 400. And there was this very, very, I'm just brutal
like
sex scene.
Filthy graphic sex scene.
Yeah. And so brutal. And I was like, wait, no. You got to prepare me for this, right? So I'm wondering, how quickly do you introduce like the spice level on this so that when they're reading it, they know exactly what they're reading?
Immediately.
Yes.
Like by the end of chapter 1, it's going to be hot.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I recommend too. So it's always right. It's one of those surprises. Like, you ever see a trailer and you're like, oh, that movie looks good, and you go see it and you're so disappointed because it's nothing like the trailer. And it's like, if I hadn't seen that trailer, I might have loved that movie. I don't know, right? But that's not what I was expecting. I'm so disappointed now.
Yeah, so definitely marketing on page 1, marketing in your blurb, like what the book is about. Yeah, because going a whole book with no spice or tension, and then suddenly 250, you're like, whoa, graphic sex scene, what the hell? That's not a good subverting of expectation. Not at all.
And I'm not a prude. I mean, I'm okay. I don't mind at all. But the surprise was like, oh, wait, what?
What? Yeah, no. And I've also learned recently, so there's a difference between spice and steam. And
tell us.
They're sometimes, I can't get a correct bead on the way that they're supposed to be used, but I think that spice is like when there's that tension, leaning in a doorway, or like brushing her hand, like the feelings leading up to the slow burn is the spice, and then the steam is the actual sex. So, not everyone goes by those metrics, but I've seen them used that way.
Yeah, because the ones I've seen are usually the other way. Like the spicy is the sex. Like when somebody says they want a spicy romance, when I'm at a con, right? Like I have people come, do you have anything spicy? They actually mean they want on-page sex. That's really what the
Right.
readers I had talked to, anyways. That's what they
Sure,
meant.
sure. I mean, the deeper that you get into smut talk, the more this becomes a differentiating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people want like a long, slow burn where like almost every single page has that spice element where like you're feeling your heart rate pick up and like a flutter in your own stomach and that sort of thing, but not necessarily like graphic on-page sex like erotica.
Mm-hmm. I like a lot of foreplay. That could be fun, right? You know, you're just getting spice level, spice level, spice level. I'm okay with that too. I just need to know what I'm in for. Just don't surprise me. So, right. I mean, in that surprise me in a good way, not in a shocking, not good way, please. We were talking earlier because I'm not sure exactly which questions, but I did start and then stop. And we wanted to go real quick about your other author identities.
Oh, sure. I feel like a lot of people who frequent Cursed Dragon Ship know that I'm also JD Astra, and I write fantasy lit RPG with no spice at all. There's romance, but no spice.
It's so funny. You look so sad. Look at you. You're so sad.
It is so sad because there could have been great sex in several of my books, but there was none. There was none. One girl, she's got horns, okay? I'm telling you, the on-screen sex that could have happened.
Creative uses. Yeah,
so
Faithful's like, oh.
Yeah. But the Chimera Bounty does also have lit RPG, like gamified magic elements to it. So I'm kind of just like doing a reverse Uno on myself, where it's like all the lit RPG and no sex, and now it's like lots of sex and very little lit RPG.
No charts? What? You don't have to do math to read this book?
You don't have to do any math. No. No.
I mean, I knew that, but I want everyone else to know that too. That's the point.
But there are levels. She levels up.
Well, I mean, I hope so. I'm excited, man. None of my friends write the fun stuff, so I'm so glad one of my friends finally does.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Koru, it's super common for authors to don different pen names for different genres because you don't want to muddy your audience. Like, my lit RPG audience is primarily male, and I did an experiment where I ran this book on Royal Road under the same pen name. I was like, let's just try it out. Let's see what dudes are going to think. And it was not popular. And book 2, everyone got very, 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 very mad because of the boyfriend switch. They were like, no, she should be loyal. She should stick by his side forever, even if he's being abusive to her. I'm like, no.
Where women are like, he's hot. That's so funny, right? It's very different. Men are like, no, they must be always loyal to me. And the women are like, you know.
I mean, it's not just like, oh, here's a hotter guy, she's going to swap. It's like wow, this is like spoiler content. Things just don't go well, okay? When you have freebies, you're not a very nice person, and it just goes downhill from there.
Are you trying to tell me she makes healthy decisions for her own well-being? What kind of book are you writing?
Yeah, after holding off on making that healthy decision until it almost kills her, so, you know.
So it's real.
Yeah.
So it's real. That's actually how it works. Yeah.
When you're trapped in toxic relationships and you're like, I'm going to try to make this work, I'm going to try to make this work, I'm going to try, and then suddenly you're like, I'm going to die if I keep trying. I better stop.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough. At this point, I'm going to say it's not me. It's enough. So, still on topic, what weird thing do you collect?
I mean, I guess, like, twitchy knickknacks. I've got a wide array of them right here. I've got, like, this thing that does this. I've got, like...
That,
Little
are you sure
paper-
you're not an assassin? That looks like something you're supposed to
A
strangle
garrote?
someone with. I don't.
Yeah, this could be a garrote.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it could be, for sure. And I've got more shiny click clacks, like little stones that I like to
Oh, I
roll
love
around.
that color.
And a tiny duck.
Oh.
Yeah, I just collect weird tiny stuff on my desk. A pug.
Was that like 3D printed?
It's a 3D printed little pug.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, and I guess stuffed animals. I keep a bunch of stuffies by me, too. Hang on. My king boo.
Oh.
Hang on. There's more.
I like the crocheted owl. Oh, he's great. Look at that gargoyle.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a question I was going to ask. So that, quite frankly, that gargoyle might answer my question. Because when we were gaming yesterday, you said that you'd never watched Thundercats. So I was wondering, what was your childhood cartoon?
Oh, definitely Gargoyles was one of them. Batman Beyond. I loved Batman Beyond. I was like, futuristic Batman in my age range? Yes, please. Gargoyles do rule. Thanks, Gregory. Man, what else did I watch? I guess when I was really young, I watched a lot of anime too as a kid. So I watched like Pokemon, and unfortunately, I watched Inuyasha. Can't take that back.
So that was a bad thing? Sorry, I'm not anime forward.
Inuyasha is just like really, really cliche and gross and just a drag. It's terrible,
But you were young. How do you know until you watch a lot?
Well, I mean, I knew. I felt it in my heart of hearts. I'm like, this is trash.
Let's watch the next one.
I'm still gonna watch it. I mean, sometimes I make that choice. I read a book that was a Beauty and the Beast reimagining, reverse harem, 4 beasts, 1 girl, trapped in a castle together. I got Zepho again.
Wait, what was the name? No,
I'm gonna tell you. It's called. Nope, that's a different book. Bound by Thorns. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Bound by Thorns. Bound and Barbed is a different one that I'm reading right now, and man, I really shouldn't read books with very similar names at the same time. Makes life hard. Where's my completed reading list? Where's my list? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Bound and Barbed. No, that's the wrong one. Bound by Thorns.
That sounds like a Sleeping Beauty thing.
Shit. By Thorns? Question mark. Bonded by Thorns. It's Bonded by Thorns.
That's funny. Your brain was telling you it wasn't quite right and you couldn't find the right word. That's where you go.
Yeah. Anyways, it's literally just Beauty and the Beast. And several of the scenes are just Beauty and the Beast.
And the Beast.
And the Beast and the Beast and the Beast. It's actually MMFMM, which means something very specific. It means these 2 guys get it on with this girl, and these 2 guys get it on with this girl, and sometimes they get it on with each other too. The way the order of the M's and the F's matters for what kind of book you're going to get. So when you write your blurb for reverse harem, you got to make sure your M's and your F's line up right.
Fascinating. I learned something new every day. That one I didn't know.
But anyways, like I could tell it was well-written trash. And I'm just like, yep, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Trash!
Sometimes trash is yummy, though. Sometimes you just want to sit there and watch nothing. I mean, I was watching Swamp People the other day. Don't ask me what I was getting out of it. But sometimes you just watch that thing that means nothing. So I get that. There's no judgment here, let me tell you. There are clips. Hey, thanks for clipping, Avatar. We never get clips. So collect. I just want you to know, I think it's funny whenever I ask that question, what thing do you collect? It's a new one, so it's only been asked a few times. Every single author looks at their desk. Like, do you collect everything at your desk? I don't have any of my collections at my desk. They're like, I don't know, I'm sure I collect something. Hold on.
Well, I'm just not really
Hairbrush.
I'm not a hoarder like that. Like, I know a lot of
Same.
people collect books and like have just shelves upon shelves, which I love. I think the aesthetic is beautiful. I don't have the money or the space to make that happen.
Do you ever feel guilty though? Sometimes I feel guilty because I read a lot of ebooks now, right? But I will buy the paperbacks, but then I will donate them. Like, so I don't, I mean, what am I going to do with all these books? Unless I'm going to read them over, because I do have some, but they're ones I'm
Right.
going to read over and over and over again. Most of the books are just, I consume them and now someone else can consume them,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But then,
exactly
then I feel really guilty. I'm like, I'm supposed to have
right.
rooms full of books. That's what everyone says I'm supposed to have.
No, you pass it on for someone else to enjoy. You save a tree and pass on a story. And
So I don't
it
have to feel
writes.
guilty. Okay. All right. All right, just making sure. Seriously, I mean, that TikTok would make me feel guilty about that.
Yeah, meh, fuck them.
Can't say that on TikTok either.
I mean, don't yuck my yum, yo. If I want to give away my books, that's me. If you want to collect them, that's you.
That's you. Yeah, I don't care that they're collecting them. I don't judge them for keeping them. I don't have any issue with that. I will say, did you ever, like, is there something you read as a child that really changed the way you thought about something?
Yeah. When I read Ender's Game, I was pretty young, and I saw vicious violence from a child, and I was like, holy shit, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always just like, kids are all innocent and sweet, and then it's like, no, kids can do unaliving also.
Yeah, on the massive scale.
Mm-hmm.
In his defense, he didn't know it though.
I mean, but he killed Bonzo, and he knew exactly what he was doing.
That is true. You're right. You're right. He did. He was well aware. Well aware.
It was self-defense, but, you know, he's like, I'm going to end... He thought in his mind, I'm going to end this threat forever. Mm-hmm. And that was also why he was picked. They're like, yes, he'll end the threat forever.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope, that's fair. That's fair.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't read Ender's Game, he unalives an entire race.
Yeah.
And then saves it.
Yeah. It's, well, attempts. Yeah, so you need to... That's a really good book, actually.
Ooh, I didn't finish reading Children of the Mind. Did he not succeed? I thought he resurrected the population by book 3, and like the queens were getting ready to build their own ships and like head off to planets.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure they did. But then, of course, he almost got all the Peckmanos unalived, so...
I think it's funny how TikTok has completely changed your brain now.
Yeah. You see how I told you at the very beginning that I was like, it's become a regular part of my vocabulary to not say murdered or killed. I say unalived.
Unalived. Did I tell you about the reenactment I saw on TikTok? But they let him say it. It was just different on the captions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Princess Bride thing where they're like, you know, the Princess Bride and they were other actors portraying the scenes in Princess Bride. And they were like, yeah, we're going to run off and fine, I'll just kill her myself, the princess, right? And in the captions it said, I will kilt her myself. And I'm like, that's not really the same effect. I'm not sure that's I don't think that's, but you know, to each their own. Well, what mythical creature would you least like to pet sit?
Manticore.
Manticore. Yeah, those flying spikes scare me.
Yeah. Also, like, scorpion venom, giant scorpion tail, and also huge paws.
And what about, do you like the,
flying like, around shitting everywhere?
And the original ones have like the human face. Have you seen that? They have like an old man face instead of the lion face. It is freaky. I'm like, whoever. Nope, I'm boring. Because I never would have imagined that. Yeah. Old man face with rows of teeth like a shark. That's the original Manticore. Yeah. It's so gross. That was a rabbit hole I fell under. Yeah.
I'm not going to go in there.
No,
I'm not going to go check that out.
No,
I love that we're doing the same thing right now.
We're not ADHD. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why I have all these shiny click-clacks here in front of my desk, so when I get distracted, my fingers can do something while my brain still works.
Same. That's exactly it. Otherwise, my brain goes over here. So no, I feel you. I feel you 100%. If you were around,
sorry, just replying to Avatar, a basilisk would suck too.
A basilisk, yeah. I don't want to be turned to stone right now. Mm-mm. I mean, if I was going to be turned to stone, I'd want it to be Medusa, because at least I could look at her right before I go. I mean, she's supposed to be hot.
Yeah, but she wouldn't. You're a woman.
Oh, does it only happen to men?
It only happens to men.
Oh.
Now you learned something new again.
Every day.
That's why I'm like, why didn't they train a female warrior to go kill Medusa? Like, what the fuck are they thinking?
That's why my brain just froze. I was like, wait, only men? Then this is an easy solution. It didn't occur to any of the ancient Greeks that there was another way to solve this problem.
No.
You want to know why? Because if they'd send a woman, she would tell them what actually happened to her, and they'd be like, you know what? Keep stoning them. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. They'd be like, yes, I killed Medusa. It's very safe to send your whole army to the island.
No.
Girl, same. They'd be like sharing wine, hanging out.
That's right.
I mean, what happened to her was fucking awful. So.
Exactly. There's no justice in that. No justice. Pisses me off. So yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think we just wrote a short story. We should probably do this. This is where this ends. It'll be right after the blowjob book. That's right. I mean, priorities.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you like food as much as we do. So surf or turf? You have to choose one.
Oh,
I know.
Is it all surf? Is it all turf?
Uh-huh.
I can only pick one.
Only pick one.
It's gonna be surf, man.
Same. I'm with you.
I can't say no to sushi forever. I would fail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. I'll take it. That one I asked you. I'm going to ask you anyways, because I want you to know now that you have a different author hat, now that you've explored the world a little bit more, become a bit more of your true self. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, okay, I'm so boring. I just don't eat ice cream that often, but probably like strawberry cheesecake.
That's delicious, actually. I like that one. I like the. Do you have like a marble slab, like where you can mix your things, or a Cold Stone, or any kind of ice cream place like that? No.
Yeah, we've got one of those. Yeah, marble slab things like in the mall nearby. We get that ice cream like once every 3 or 4 years.
Yes, I like getting the cheesecake one. And then you get graham crackers in it and strawberries, so you get that blend. That is the best strawberry. It's so good. Highly recommend. Except I will tell you, in my old age, I was very disappointed. I just got like a medium size, which normally I would eat in 2 seconds. I couldn't even eat the whole thing. I'm like, oh no, I'm getting old. I can't finish my ice cream. This is devastating. It's devastating.
It happened to me. We go to, Dairy Queen in the summer when it's not blizzarding outside.
Does that happen?
Well, in Colorado, it's blizzarding right now.
No, outside. I mean, do you ever get summer?
Yeah, we get some. We get some. Just like what she said. But no, I get like not even the child size, but like the miniature size now. And like, I'll get to the bottom of it and be like, I shouldn't have finished this.
Oh no, you're getting old, Jess. You're getting old.
I've always been this way. I'm just not a big sweets person. I'm like a salty, crunchy. Throw like a bag of chips and a gigantic bowl of guacamole at me, and that's my jam.
You would have really liked the very salty and delicious turkey hash I made, because we had leftover turkey. It was so good. It was delicious.
That sounds like something I'd enjoy.
Yep. I think that's it. Oh, no, one more. When staying in a hotel, do you unpack?
No.
Right? Me neither. I'm so glad you answered that way, because I think it's so ridiculous, but a lot of people do.
Okay, well, that's not true. For Superstars, I did. I was there for a week. So I put my shit away. Wait, no, did I? No, I didn't. At Superstars, I had a roommate. I didn't put my shit away. At 20 books, I put my shit away because I was alone. And I was there for.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, When someone's husband is supposed to go to bed at a reasonable hour, but instead he is up all night at some event
No.
playing D&D, I'm just, who am I supposed to blame for this? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it was my fault. He was babysitting me, okay? It was me. I take responsibility. I apologized.
It was so funny because it's 2 a.m. and I'm calling him and he answers and he's like, something, something, something. And I hear you in the background going, something, something, something. And he's like, yeah, we're playing D&D. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. It's 2 a.m. He's like, I'll be right up.
I mean, and this was the first time I had heard of the time, so I was like, oh my God. I thought it was like 11:30 max. But, I also blame James Hunter a little bit because the way he wanted to start the night was fucking 4 shots of raspberry vodka. And I don't know if you've seen James Hunter, but he's like, I don't know, 1.5 feet taller than me. And he's like, come on, Jess, you can do it. And I'm like, ah.
You understand this is going to hit me harder than you, right? I just want to make sure even playing ground here. I think it's funny you give him a little bit of blame. I think you can blame him a lot. He can take it. It's all fine. It's all fine. No, that's fun. We laughed because Superstars is not Dragon Con. At Dragon Con, he stays out all night and it doesn't matter. It's Dragon Con. Superstars is different. We have classes to go to. We have panels to be on. We have things to do. Yeah. It was funny. It was funny. I mean, it's fine. Look, we're still married. It's not like you missed your curfew. Get out. I'm not that mean. Always. So finally, where can fans find you and your work?
Well, they can find me on Goodreads, Amazon, BookBub. That's kind of it for now. Amazon has a pre-order up. If you'd like to get an ARC, I'm still running ARCs for like 2 or 3 more days, since we're 2 weeks out from the launch. You can get a hold of one of those by emailing me. That's the fastest way.
She's got to type it in the chat for y'all.
.com. There we go. emberholtwrites@gmail.com. You can also go to my website and sign up for my newsletter and then just like reply to that introductory email and be like, yo, I want the ARC. And then I'll send it to you. Because I would love to have a lot of awesome 4- and 5-star reviews for my launch so that this book can get into the hands of everyone who loves smut. Get into smut sluts' hands all over the globe.
Just pass it around. You'll want it. Believe me, the spice must flow. That's
the
right.
The spice must flow. Thank you. That's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Redeeming yourself spice. And shit. Okay. Do I have to give him I might have to give him a rep now.
Oh.
I'm going to give him a rep. He deserves a rep. Poor guy worked so hard. How come you're not coming up? Oh, because I spelled you wrong. Don't laugh at me. He's laughing at me. Look, I've been editing most of the day when I wasn't napping after my walk. There we go. All right, excellent. So now that Ember Holt is your new favorite author, please make sure to review her work, as she just said. So make sure you get a copy so you can do that. And please review us wherever it is you get your podcast. You can also follow us on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube. And we will see you next week with our next author, who is Mac Little. Took me a minute, I forgot.
Thanks so much for having me. Yay. So much fun.